You want to be a better Minecraft builder? So do I. Let's figure it out. Hello, welcome to the second episode of Design and Details. My name is Soviv, but you can call me Spencer. We're friends. As always, thanks so much for leaving a like and supporting. Why don't we jump into it? Today I got 15 different fireplace designs for you, as well as 2 builds that you would normally see a fireplace in. I separated the designs into both fantasy and modern, timestamps for those in the description. I guess let's go check them out. So the first design we have here is by Kugio. So this design would be awesome to put in some kind of fantasy build or even a log cabin it would look good in. And it's quite simple as well. The majority of it is bricks. You can see we have some stairs here. This one's a slab, some more stairs, as well as some walls for the chimney here. We have a campfire in the middle, which is great because it gives us the particles. Now this one, the chimney's not wide enough for the actual smoke particles to go all the way through, but it still adds a little bit of extra detail compared to having just netherrack on fire. And we just have a extinguished campfire here just to look like some extra lumber that would go on the fire. And there we go. I mean, that build is quite simple, so not much to talk about. Let's head on to the next one. So the next design was posted on the Minecraft subreddit by Patchy Weasel, and this design was actually posted 7 years ago. You can see it's another quite simple design, but what's nice about this design, it uses some spruce stairs and some oak fence gates to create a moose head. I mean, you kind of have to use imagination, but it does look like a moose head on the mantle. So I've substituted the netherrack for a campfire here, because this one, the chimney is actually wide enough that the smoke particles can go through. So if you were to build this in a building, you could have the smoke particles actually go past the chimney and fly up into the sky. So back 7 years ago, there weren't many blocks, so it uses a mixture of stone bricks as well as some cobblestone stairs. You see these ones are put on the side, so they're just a little smaller there, and it has some cobblestone walls here and a slab. I mean, it's quite simple. I also have here a alternate design. You can see this first one sticks out 2 blocks, so this one actually only sticks out 1. If you just a little cramped for space, this would be a better design for that. The moose head still sticks out 2, but since that's up in the air, you wouldn't really be running into any issues with that. All I really did is took this front layer and just shifted it back, and it still maintains the chimney here. So if you needed that, then that is also an option. So the next design here is one I have built. You can see it uses some of the newer blocks in 1.14, like the blast furnaces as well as the polished andesite stairs. And it mixes with the stone bricks quite well. Because we don't have a polished version of the andesite walls, I just mixed in some of the regular andesite here, and I think it actually looks pretty good. It breaks up the texture a little, and as well as the chimney here is the andesite walls. The block in front of the campfire here is a stair, just so you can actually see the campfire there, because if it was a full block, it's quite obstructed, so that just makes it so you can see it. We have a cauldron on top of it as if they were cooking some stew or something. You could also take a water bucket and fill it up, so it actually looks like there's liquid in there. And then we have some iron bars. However, you notice it's not connected to the walls here. Now, if you watch my first design and details video, I went over the debug stick a little bit. I'll just do a quick explanation here. So if I replace this, you can see it connects to the back wall as well as the sides. And then what you can do the command /give and then your username and then do debug stick. This gives you an enchanted stick where if you left click, you can choose what property you want to edit. And if you right click, you can change that property. So you can see we can take the north side off here as well as the south side. And then up here, we would want to get rid of the east side like that. And that gets rid of all the sides. That just makes it look like there's maybe a rope or something holding the cauldron up. And if we have it connected, it usually stops the particles here, which we don't want as much as possible. We'd rather have them float up. So the only flaw with this design is if you get real close, you can see your wall material here. Now you can replace it, however, then you would see it behind this stair here. So it's really up to you what you would like. I mean, that doesn't look bad, but it's just a little less clear of a shape than the other side. So the next fireplace here is another one I have designed. It's fairly similar to the last design. However, the palette has obviously changed and there has been room made for a proper chimney here. That way, again, if you wanted the smoke particles to go past the top of the chimney, that is an option. So most notably, you can see the blast furnaces have turned to brick as well as all the andesite. The andesite walls up top have turned to stone brick as well as some on the wall. That's just so it has room for the chimney, as well as cobblestone has been added to the wall. Now you can leave the cobblestone as the wall block, but I just felt like it added a little bit more structural integrity with the cobblestone there, but you can see removing this does look fine. It just looks a little odd because the top is as wide as the bottom here, so it's a lot more square where this one is more of a triangle. But it's up to you. Whatever design you like, you are totally free to use. This next fireplace is one I also designed, however it is one of my least favorite out of all of them. What I was going for is to use the smoker more as a stove than the traditional wood fireplace. So with the smoker in the center, we have some nether bricks, and that's just to act as the piping for the chimney. So with this design, because the smoker will require something to be cooking to do the animation here, you'll normally have something like that. Now with the debug stick, you can change a property to have it lit or not lit. So if you have access to that, that is definitely an option. But if you don't have access to the debug stick, you can just throw some food in here and cook it to get the same effect. We've used the debug stick on the fences here to have them not connect to the back wall. You can also use the debug stick to not only unattach the walls to the smoker, but there's also a up property. So if you can see, I add that. It adds this little bump here, but if you get rid of it, it's a lot more smooth there on the sides. And I think that definitely looks better, but again, it requires the debug stick. So I use brick walls here instead of bricks because it makes it just look a little thinner, and that way you have a little gap beside the smoker rather than it's just budged up right beside it. But yeah, as I said, this isn't my favorite design. Why don't you guys use the concept of this smoke as a fireplace and create some of your own designs? I'd love to see them, and you can show me by either tweeting them at me or joining our Discord. Links for both of those are in the description below. So the next one here is another one that mainly made out of bricks. Now I do want to iterate that just because I'm showing you the designs with this example being bricks, you don't need to follow this palette exactly and use bricks. You could build this with whatever you think would look good. You could build it completely out of stone bricks. That would look good, as you've seen in some of our other designs. Or, I mean, let's see, what else has a wall? You could build it out of red sandstone if you're feeling crazy, or prismarine. You know, the sky's the limit, whatever you want to design it out of. I thought building all these fireplaces was going to be quite a daunting task, but once you get in the groove, making fireplaces is actually quite easy. At least that's what I found, so go ahead and experiment. Maybe you want this side to come in a little bit. That looks awesome. Actually, I do like that better, but let's go back to the original design and I will show you that. So at the bottom here, we just have some stairs in the ground here. You can see these ones are facing this way, and these ones here are facing the same way. That adds just some depth to the ground here, as well as makes the campfire in there just a little more visible. Some iron bars to guard that off, and some upside down stairs here as a mantle. You can maybe even do something like that. Just a regular stair here, that's just to cover up this little gap here. But you could bring this half slab down just to make it a little more flat if you need a bigger mantle. And at the top here, an upside down stair with some sideways stairs, as well as the brick wall. Now we have stone bricks on the wall here just to add some structural shape, but you could get rid of that and it would look fine as well. So not much else about this design. If you wanted to adapt it to fit a chimney, you could just replace these walls and then remove the stone bricks behind it, as well as you would have to push this campfire back one. So the next design here is one by Zoomerocks26. And you can see it's a quite large fireplace. I feel like this would actually fit better in some kind of blacksmith smeltery, but I think it would also look really awesome in a interior build. You can see it's quite tall, so your roof will have to be quite tall as well. Like how many blocks is this? 2, 4, 6. So 7 blocks, and then the 8th block being your roof. So obviously you need a build that will fit this. But let's quickly go over it. Now I did change the palette a little bit from the original design. I think it was mostly cobblestone and the stone bricks, but I added some of the bricks just to add a little more color. So the cobblestone is really only here, and I believe, yeah, there's a cobblestone behind there. Not that you really see that. That's mirrored on the other side. So then we have stone bricks with a stair on top of it and a stair in front of it, and a wall on the other side, slab on top of that, and then a stair beside that. Now this one I left the netherrack on fire instead of switching it to a campfire, just because the fire is so much larger and it definitely fits the design better. Now for the brick part, we have a couple blocks of the bricks with a wall on top of it, and then some stairs here. We have a slab right in the middle, which is gonna cover the view to this netherrack there. Then on the back side here, we just have some sideways stairs just to give it those spikes, a block in the middle with a wall on top of it. So I really like this design. You could even maybe change these blocks to cobblestone. That way you'd be able to see the shape a little better. But like I said with the other one, you don't even need to use any of these blocks. You could build it all out of andesite if you wanted to. Alright, so this is the last of the fantasy style fireplaces, and you can see the design is quite simple. So down here, we're using the netherrack as the fire there, some iron bars in front of it with the blast furnaces actually on the ground here. That just adds a little bit different texture. It's a little darker than, say, stone bricks would be. Then we have some upside down brick stairs to act as the mantle, a sideways stair here with just a block of bricks beneath it. Back here, we just have a stair and 2 blocks of bricks with an andesite wall. Then we actually have some polished andesite here and a little higher on the chimney. I'm not really sure what kind of function this would serve on an actual fireplace, but it kind of just looks like it's being braced or something, and it just kind of breaks up the brick texture a little bit. So I think it looks pretty good. And we just have a cactus and a little painting here on the mantle. Now, one little bonus tip before we jump to the modern designs is you can just use oak logs and extinguished campfires just to make a little wood pile here. Now you can include these right beside your designs here. It just looks like you just have some extra wood that's ready to go in the campfire. And I just wanted to say, if you're enjoying this video, do feel free to give it a thumbs up as well as subscribe for future design videos. Alright. With that out of the way, let's go on to the modern builds. So the first modern design we have here is one I designed. It's kind of more of a freestanding design that you could maybe put in the middle of a room. When we get to the room builds later in the video, you can see a design very similar to this one. Now this one does require the roof to be quite a bit lower than any of the other designs allow, so you do have to keep that in mind. Now this design's quite simple like most modern builds are, and we just have smooth sandstone in a upside down U shape here with some smooth stone slabs around it here and just a campfire in the middle. Like I said, it's quite simple. Alright, moving on to the next one. So this next design is another simple one. You can see it uses the smooth sandstone again, and really it's just a slab of that. Just a huge thing with a little bit cut out here. We have gray stained glass here in front of the campfires. Beneath the campfires, I just put some coal blocks. They're not really that visible, so it doesn't really matter too much what you put there. And then behind the campfires, we have black terracotta as well as some nether bricks. This is another one where you want to keep your roof about this high. Any higher, it starts to look quite weird, so you want to keep it something similar to this. The next one here might be my favorite out of all the modern designs. It uses a mixture of the quartz pillars and some smooth quartz stairs, as well as andesite and the smooth stone slabs. You can see we have the campfire here with the smooth stone slabs in front of it, some upside down stairs as the mantle, pillars on the sides, and then we have some pillars orientated the other way. This gives it almost a interesting paneling design with the horizontal lines, and I think that looks really awesome. Now on the sides here, I wanted to cover up the ends, so what I did is just put some iron trapdoors, and then behind this block is just a lever powering it, which makes it close, because naturally it will want to be open like that. So yeah, I really like this design, and I actually really like the next one as well, so let's check it out. Now this next fireplace is another one that uses mostly quartz. Because we're using glass in it with the stone slabs beneath it, it does require your floor to be on the bottom half slab. So you do have to keep that in mind while designing your building, that the floor will have to be slabs. And hey, that stops mobs from spawning, so it kind of kills two birds with one stone. So yeah, we have smooth stone slabs with glass panes above it, and there's a quartz blocks with some black terracotta as the back wall there, coal blocks underneath the campfires once again, smooth quartz stairs just wrapping around the chimney here, which are just quartz pillars. Alright, so let's go check out the next one. So this next design is built by World of Rar, and it would probably fit better in more suburban houses than contemporary houses. However, you could probably substitute the stone brick for maybe quartz, and it probably would fit fine in contemporary houses then. So this one is using the netherrack on fire, and it actually has smooth stone behind it as the back wall, which gives it a really sleek look, even though you can't really see it that much. Cobblestone on the ground with smooth stone slabs, iron bars in front of it with the chiseled stone bricks beside it, stone brick stairs, as well as slabs for the mantle, and the chimney is just a simple design with a chiseled stone brick in the middle. And our last design could maybe be considered more fantasy than more modern, but it kind of works in both instances. So I wanted to get away from our palette we used so far, so I used nether bricks to design this one. You can see we just have some slabs here and some slabs for the mantle. Again, this one requires your floor to be half slabs here, and then right down the center of the chimney we have a alternating pattern of a smooth stone and then two smooth stone slabs. This also looks good if you just replace it all with smooth stone slabs. However, I felt like the smooth stone blocks here kind of broke up the repeating pattern a little, and it looked pretty good. So yeah, that's all our fireplace designs. Now we're gonna jump over to too close. We're gonna jump over to a room design that's more contemporary, and I'll show you some tips and tricks on decorating that type of room. So this design would be more of maybe a living room, or you could have it a den in the basement. Now this fireplace design might look familiar. It's actually our first modern design, except the smooth sandstone was just replaced for white concrete just to match the ceiling here. But other than that, it is exactly the same, and it's right in the middle of the room, which works perfect for not only lighting it up, but adding that nice detail. Now beside it, we have a red feature wall here with a bookshelf. We're just using a mixture of spruce stairs and slabs in just an alternating pattern just to give it a design in front of the bookshelves here. We're also using the side of looms again to look like empty bookshelves. And then to the left of it, we just have a small little table here with a bunch of different types of plants just to get that natural sunlight. Looks very natural. Now obviously this is a video about fireplaces, so I didn't spend too long decorating this interior, but I'll just quickly go through the rest of it. A little table here, you can sit in front of the fireplace. I realize now it's kind of off-centered, it should have been shifted over one, but I'm not gonna worry about that. Some paintings on the walls, and then some flower pots on top of glowstone just to add some lighting over here. You can see we're using cauldron and jungle leaves here, and we have another feature wall here. You could probably put something on this wall to display it nicely, but I didn't worry about that. Moving on, we have just a couch using mushroom stem blocks and smooth quartz slabs, a little shelf right above it with the wall color changed to gray, just to add some variety. And then to the left of that is just a little lamp here. You can see we've used the debug stick once again to remove the attachments. I missed the back apparently, but that's okay. I had the quartz pillar on top of here, but it just blended into the walls too much, so I changed it just to a random color of wool. Again, I wasn't too worried about the interior. It's more just integrating the fireplace design. Now where the fireplace is and connecting to this feature wall here, it is sunken down. That just adds a little bit of depth in the room, and I think that makes a huge difference. And then last but not least, or maybe least, we just have some carpet on the ground, just as a little throw rug. So yeah, that's that design. Pretty simple. Fireplace looks awesome in here. And next we're gonna go check out a kind of tavern build to use those more medieval fireplaces. Let's check it out. All right, welcome to the Feather. That's the name of this tavern. I don't know why. I just decided to name that. So here we have the entrance, and I totally see that it's missing some slabs here. Let me quickly fix that. There we are, perfect. So we're using fences here just to add some depth, and if we enter, we can see the bar on the left here, and then our fireplace on the right. So this design wasn't featured in one of the 15 designs, but we'll quickly just go over it. We can see we have some bricks here with a brick wall, stair on top of it, a couple of slabs here. Again, we have the cauldrons, and here they're being held up by nether brick fences. I've used the debug stick once again to detach it from the backs and the sides here. And apparently I didn't go that far up, but that's okay. Gets the point across. Again, some stairs on the ground here just to add some depth, and walls on the side, and I don't really know what the acacia buttons are for, but I thought they looked alright, so that's what we went with. Now quickly going over the rest of the build, right beside the fireplace we'd have, maybe this is like the hero of the village or something, just kind of a monument to him, and maybe this is a picture of him as well. I wasn't too sure, but I just wanted to add an armor stand with some diamond armor, really. That's really the whole reason I added it. So we just have the chairs and table here, the exact same setup as the modern build I just showed you, except this table is 2 wide instead of 1. We're using sea pickles on top of it to look like mugs, which works. And a small table over here with a window above it. We have birch fence gates behind the trap doors here. Now for our wall design, we have a base of cobblestone with a upside down oak stair above it, just adding that nice little depth. Then the rest is just oak planks all the way around, and we're using spruce logs as the support structures. So carrying on, we just have a little bench here and a table. And then on the wall here, we have a spot where civilians can come post jobs where they need maybe adventurers to, like, what does this one say? Pest and sellers, reward for removal, or something destroying pumpkins, reward. So those are just 2 quick examples I came up with off the top of my head, but you could have a bunch, and it just adds a little bit of world building. All right, so then the bar here, we have some spruce slabs suspended by nether bricks. Then we have our menu signs here, as well as our bartender. The bar is just some upside down stairs. Some slabs and trapdoors just make up a couple stools right next to the bar. And again, the sea pickles as mugs. And the roof is quite simple. We have a little bit of indent here, right by the entrance. The floor, we just have this border of actually dark oak logs, changing it up from the spruce logs, just to add a bit of variety since it's fairly close in color. And then to the left is the stairwell to access there's nothing actually up there right now, but you could go up there and build the rooms that you could rent. So yeah, that's that design, which means I'm all out of things to show you. But if you found this video helpful, do feel free to show your support by leaving a like on the video or even sharing it. You can also subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when I release new videos. And if you made it to the end of the video, leave a comment down below saying #EndSquad and tell me what was your favorite design out of all of them. As always, thanks so much for watching. We will see you the next video. Ta-ta!